What's going on, traders? Welcome to my stream for educational purposes only. That is, today I made two trades actually that they both equaled me around a 20% gain. And like I teach in many of my videos, 20% gain is actually a pretty big deal in the small cap market. So when you see that you have that 20%, you should lock it in. There was a couple of tickers that I did miss, but one of the tickers that was very interesting was NDRA, and I pretty much let's see, so I can show you like my PNL. Hold on, I'm trying to save it because I haven't really saved it. We just finished up the live stream this morning, so you can see there on the top right over there, I have around I have a 7K profit and a 3K profit. Pretty nicely, pretty nicely. So the stocks that I really did well on was NDRA. And I wish I would have made more money on this one. You know, as I usually wake up around 7 on a regular Tuesday, I usually just watch these tickers as these ticker break pre-market highs or afternoon highs. And I pretty much try to buy them as they break pre-market highs, like right here in this scenario at around 658. We broke $7 and we spiked all the way up to $9. Well, my idea was to actually buy the dip, which I did. So my first trade on it was to buy it at 720 and sell it at 790, and that was a good trade. That was a good trade, no doubt about it. And then the ticker pretty much went straight up over here, and a lot of traders had trouble. Like, what exactly are you supposed to do here? So, we gotta take in consideration, like, this ticker had no news. This ticker was gapping up 200%, and this ticker it was a Tuesday. So these are three things that are going for it. A lot of people thought that this ticker is going to be a long, and for a moment there, I thought it was going to be a long, considering the fact that we had a push over here at open around 11ish, and we got slammed back down. So my initial short was 1150 with a stop of my initial short was 1050 with an initial stop of $11. So I actually got, went short at 1050, and I got stopped out right there in that candle. So look at that. Look at that. Proc made money from 170 to 205. I actually went long Proc. Actually, we'll talk about that one. We see a bunch of traders in the chat room. So my idea was to short NDRA throughout the whole day, but sometimes you just don't know whether the ticker is gonna keep running or not, because you don't know. Just the mark, just because you think is a gap up short on a Tuesday with no news up to 100%, you think is going to sell off. You can be one day out of that week when the thing goes straight up. So you never really know. All you know is pretty much what the price action tells you. So in this scenario, I went short 1050, risk off 11, and then I went long at 1150, and then I flipped short again. So technically, I lost like $1 throughout this whole move over here, and then I pretty much went short at 1050, and I rode it all the way back down to around right here, around $8. We have traders trying to short these things. I rode it from 1050 down to 750, from here to down to here, because I knew around $7, or I said that my target would be $7. So I'm sure you're all, you're pretty anxious to short, and you think this is, all, it's difficult and all that. But I want to show you another trade that I did in Proc. Proc was a really nice ticker over here. You can see we popped up. So initially Proc. So let me tell you about something about floats. The higher the float goes, the less likely is it to run. So this is a really extreme scenario in which you have an 80 milli float run so high. The ticker on this news was they had, positive news on their cancer drug, positive phase 2 on their cancer drug or whatever. So Same thing. We pop up over here. We made a higher high, and right here we VWAP reclaim. A couple of traders took it long as we VWAP reclaim. I saw a couple of traders take it long from 115 up to 140. So nice from 108 to 106. And then this ticker, actually, we held the trend line and we came to break out of 106. So I wasn't really that excited to buy it here, which I should have because we VWAP reclaim right here. You can see we went under VWAP. We went on the trend line and then we VWAP reclaim. But when I saw that we're going to break 160, I looked at the daily and I was like, if it breaks 160, where is the next resistance point? So obviously I thought it's going to be $2 or more. In this scenario, it went to 240. So when I looked at it when it was breaking 160, I was like, okay, let me buy it at 160 and write it over $2 because that's where I saw on the daily it's going to be resistance at. So I bought it at 170. We dip a bit, and I got scared shitless over here because I was buying it 165, 170. I got pretty scared over here, and then ram into a halt up, ram into a halt up. It hit eventually 240. If I held 240, I would have been much better off. But, you know, like I teach in many of my courses, like once you see a profit of over 20%, there's not really a lot of things you can do. Like, you know, say you bought it at 160 and it went to $2, 230. I mean, if you didn't sell when you were up more than 20%, I mean, you would have pretty much had an empty bag. Obviously, I had a couple of losses. You know, usually the way I do the way I trade Tuesday is that I wake up each morning and I try to trade the lowest float that has the most amount of news, sometimes prior to 7 a.m. And what I look at after 10 o'clock or 10:30, I look at, you know, what is the midday mover? Which ticker is going to give me a midday move after 10 p.m., 10 a.m.? Because sometimes, you know, on a Tuesday, you have all the gappers selling off. And then pretty much after 10 a.m., it's like you have these, you know, zombies, these squeezes. So one of the squeezes that I thought is going to be, I thought it was BSLK. So initially we had a VWAP reclaim. I tried to buy it. We dipped and I sold the bounce. So I initially lost around 10 cents over here because, you know, normally in a normal scenario, you would reclaim VWAP, you would hold VWAP. Let me show you the right here. So initially I thought it was BSLK. So we come over here, we VWAP reclaim, we hold VWAP reclaim, and then we should have shot straight up to 480. I mean, it has room till 7. So initially I thought that we're going to run this low float puppy all the way up to freaking, look at that, covered right here. We got some traders here. They covered NDRA here at 780. He made $1 share. Congrats to him. So BSLK was you know, not the ticker to buy. Obviously, this ticker, you know, sometimes you're gonna have strikeout positions, and you need to pretty much trade small. Like in this scenario here, we had a VWAP reclaim on RLYB, another ticker. This ticker did have news, so just because it has news doesn't mean it's gonna run. So, but you know, the second time we try to break 60. I bought it at 60. I sold into the flush, and good thing that I did because I mean it liquidated. So what made me buy Proc? Probably this setup. This is kind of like an uptrending wedge breakout. And when I saw that it was breaking out 160, I was like 160 to 240. You know, that's a really nice breakout. So that's about it. I am walking out with pretty huge profit today. The only thing that I don't like about my trading today is that I try to trade BSLK here. And at one point, you can see that I have a big loss here of around 13 cents. And the reason I have that loss is because I actually tried to oversize in it. At one point, I had like 10,000 shares, which is a lot of shares to be. So, you know, my problem was oversized in BSLK. That's probably what I should not have done. But you can see so that, you know, I was pretty good sized in this ticker in Proc. I made a huge amount of bank in this Proc ticker, and who knows, maybe this ticker is gonna hit $3 or something. Anyway, that was it. Probably two very nice profits on 2 tickers. Made 20% twice in a row, and then I took my stop loss in the other tickers. I'm actually, I should have made a little bit more money in this ticker and NVRA, because in the morning it was just, you know, look at that from 7 up to 11. I should have made a little bit more money on this upside, but I was live streaming this morning on it, so hopefully you caught some of that bounce and you traded it and you made a little bit of bank on it. But other than that, that's going to be a wrap for me. I'll see you all in my next video. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and see you all later. Peace out for educational purposes only, as usual.